You're listening to the Money Mike's syndicated podcast, and we wish you all a happy Friday. It's a beautiful day, and each and every day we're reaching higher and higher. Today we got a good topic for you. This is something that just came across the wire, actually came across the wire about 24, 48 hours ago, but North Carolina State, M.J. Morris, is decided to redshirt at North Carolina State after participation being the starting quarterback. And I'll repeat that. M.J. Morris, NFL prospect, has decided to forego this year and redshirt. And as you know, with Money Mike, what we try to do as we look at different things and we look at NFL teams, we look at what's going on, this is shocking. And it's kind of hard to put a pulse on it, but I think I'm going to do my best. And folks, please remember North Carolina State University, the alumni, the boosters, outstanding job. And I will say this is somewhat shocking, but we also have to get to the reality of football and the big business and what happens with the branding. So taking a look at this, obviously the report was broken by Eddie Morris, MJ's father, and out of Atlanta, Georgia. And one of the things I could say, I heard Dave Doran's heck of a football coach, man of principle, God-fearing man, basically really it was a sad day. And to know that when you're in a situation and you have a football team that's winning and you put in a scheme and you decide this is the direction we're going to go, obviously you're on an upward trend. And the one thing that can take you down is a distraction. And this is somewhat of a major distraction, but we got to evaluate it correctly. And again, salute to Dave Doran, North Carolina State football. You got a good man, you got a damn good football coach, but reality has to set in at some point. And M.J. Morris, NFL prospect, I got him projected in the first round. And unfortunately, things haven't gotten off to a good start. And we've got to look at it because here's what you don't want to see happen. Obviously, you know that the college football game has completely changed. The portable is available. Obviously, if you're going to look for another job, you have a right to do so. And this is something that's got to be looked at not only by head coach Dave Doran, but we're going to take a look at offensive coordinator, okay, Robert Anae, okay, first year, been coaching, a lot of coaching experience, okay. So when I break this down, folks, what I always want to tell you, and I want you to remember, is this situation was not designed for M.J. Morris. Apparently it came out that he was going to redshirt. And obviously, due to the way the season started, that didn't happen. So Robert Anae, first year coming in, he built this offense around Armstrong, the starting quarterback, the transfer that came in. So this offense wasn't built for M.J. Morris. And this is the issue. This is what I'm going to take you. I promise you, I always take you behind the scenes. I'll get you the secret truth, or I'll bring it to you uncut. That's the challenge of what's going on with M.J. Morris, because the offense that's designed is not a good fit for M.J. Morris. Folks, let's face it, he can spin the football. And he's got a projection. He has a brand. And if you're not in a good fit, and I've watched North Carolina State win football games, Doran's a damn good coach. He knows how to win, and he's proven that. But the way he's winning is not a good fit for M.J. Morris. And folks, to understand this, I was listening to a podcast from North Carolina and I heard Mike Glennon, former NFL quarterback, and they had some not so good things to say, but Mike's got to understand you've got to be in the right system to flourish. And that's not what's happening at North Carolina State. And I was overly surprised when I saw some goal line plays and you're starting to run them. And you don't want to get him hurt He's a quarterback and he can spin the football. So here's where I'm going with this. Obviously, Robert and Coach Dorn, they can't change it now. And folks, as I tell you in the NFL, offenses don't get better. And right now, there's no way that North Carolina State offense is going to get better. It's at the bottom of the ACC. That should be a high concern for Coach Dave Dorn because you've got an offensive coordinator. It's his first time in the building. It's first time, and we got to evaluate that because if you put a player in the wrong offense, things don't work, and that's what's happening. And then after you put him in the starting position, you got things turned around. It puzzles me. Why would Coach Dorn go back to B.J. Armstrong? And folks, the reason is that's how he wins football games. That's his scheme. That's his game plan. It's successful. But it's not successful for every player. And when you have a high talent NFL prospect like M.J. Morris, you got to spin the football. You got to throw the football. And to Mike Glennon, you know that. You know you got to spin it. So there's no way you can ask M.J. Morris to say, complete this year and come back and do this next year. The offense is not built around him. It's not built to do that. And that's something that Coach Dave Dorn doesn't. He can't change what's happened now, but he can change what's happened in the future because the recruits are going to know. The recruits understand this. They want to go somewhere where it's high flying. And Money Mike, obviously, what do you call high flying? He needs to be somewhere like Washington. He needs to be somewhere USC, Washington State, LSU, Oregon. And to me, if I looked at it just correctly, the perfect fit for M.J. Morris would be Colorado. Okay? Colorado football is M.J. Morris football. As you can see, Shedeur Sanders is spinning the football. And folks, that's what the game is about now. It's not about 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And here's where I do know about Coach Dorn. He's smart enough to figure that out. And he's going to make the adjustment. And that's just the game that we play now. And if you look at it from the ACC, we don't want to go to the national ranking because that's way too down there for NC State football on offense. We want to go to the ACC. You're not spinning the ball. You're from the bottom of the pack. And that's not going to change. You can't change it this year. But you can do something about it going forward. And folks, this happens. Okay, coaches, they got a philosophy. It's a good one. They're winning. He's won more games than anybody at the university. So the obvious reason, and you got to look at it from M.J. Morris' perspective and his father's perspective, that probably won't change. And we've got to make the right decision to put him in the right situation to make sure that the skill set that he has flourishes. Because he's playing this game at a high level. You've looked at tape on him. It's just the offense is not open. It's closed. And when you run the football, you win football games. There's no doubt about it. That's a success. You got to be able to do that. But also, you got to be innovative. You got to be able to open it up. You got to be able to spin it in different directions and let them show. And a perfect example of that, and he's coming along and he's building. If you look at Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, and M.J. Morris sees that. You got to be able to stick with it, which Bryce Young is doing. Carolina Panthers, you're on the right track, and you got to be able to flourish in a system that's designed and built for you. Robert Anae didn't build this system for M.J. Morris. Okay, and it happens. It happens in the NFL. Okay, obviously, the 49ers system was not built for Lance. Okay, Trey Lance, obviously. But he's gone somewhere else, and they'll put an offense around him. NC State football, you know, the thing I'll always tell you, it's a new day. It's a new game. And the portal's there, and obviously, it's been reported he's going to stay at NC State. I don't think so. And NC State football fans, let me tell you why. Football's big business. And that talent, somebody's watching it. And if I concede we're in the wrong offense, they concede we're in the wrong offense. And you can get him somewhere where he can flourish. Dave Doran can get him the quarterback that he wants to run his system. Everybody wins. Okay, but here's what you got to remember, NC State football. It's a new day. It's a new game. These young men coming in to play football for you, they have a brand. And their brand will not be suffocated in a system. So also note that. And the other thing, Coach, I see you winning. I like a lot of things. The only thing I didn't like is in a football game, when you're winning and you're a champion and you're going in that direction, you got to be disciplined and you got to have first class. And that's what I foresight for me. I see the North Carolina State football, and I'll be sticking around to see how this situation plays out, because here's what's going to happen. Dave Doran is a damn good football coach. He knows what he needs to do, and he's going to get it done, and that's how this is going to play out. And MJ Morris is going to go where he can flourish, and it's going to pan out for him. And it's no different than David Tua and Jalen Hurts. These things happen, folks, but they happen for a reason. So I want you to know you got a bright future going forward in NC State football, and you're listening to the Money Mike's syndicated radio podcast. We come to you, we bring you behind the scenes. And what I'll tell you, this is my opinion. But if my opinion becomes truth, I've given you the facts before they've actually happened. You have a wonderful weekend, and stick with us. Make sure you subscribe to the Money Mike's podcast. We'll see you soon.